Hello and welcome to the first show of Jailbreak 2017.
Over the next 36 hours, teams of Lancaster students will be trying to get as far away from Lancaster as possible without spending any money, all to raise money for an actors project.
So, guys, Jailbreak 2017, obviously last year it didn't run, but this year they're back at it again. Loads of people trying to get as far away as they can. Some crazy team names, so if you guys were doing it, what would your team name be?
It's a very difficult question. I was trying to think of some names earlier, and I came up with Find Me in Finland. Finland would be perhaps a nice place to aim for. So you'd probably find me in Finland if I made it there. What about you two?
See, I don't know, because Charlotte's a terrible name to try and make names with, and I'm not as confident as you are that I'd actually get anywhere beyond like Preston. But you did come up with one which is really bad, really, really bad. But you've got to say it.
What, for you?
Yeah, go on. I can't say it's that bad.
It's quite bad. I said she should call her team name Charlotte of Miles Away. I mean, there's not much you can do with that name, really. It's a nice name, but there's not really much you can do with it in terms of puns.
No, it's a useless name. But
meanwhile,
you've got a perfect one.
I mean, you know, Jordan Luke, yeah, maybe not, but JL is like the perfect abbreviation because you can just say Jailbreak and no one will question it, and it's probably the best name ever. Like, come on, no one's going to beat that.
No, exactly. So what's the point in trying? So how far do you think you guys would get?
It's probably not very far. I think you have to be quite confident to do this activity. And I don't think I'd have the confidence to go up to people and ask to hitchhike. So I don't think I'd get too far. Depending on who would be in my team, actually. If you had some good teammates that were really up for it, then it would definitely make it easier and I'd get further. But
yeah. I mean, in the intro talk, there was some past winners, and the people in Actors were talking about hitchhiking and saying, you know, people might be a bit reluctant to take hitchhikers if they're by the side of the road, but if you turn up at a service station and you know, go up to people and just say, okay, we're doing this for charity and we're going to, you know, wherever, the ferry or whatever you're going to, they'll be more sort of willing to take you. I think I'd like to go like a bit of a deviant route, like maybe, I know a lot of people sort of head south and get the ferry to like mainland Europe, but maybe cool to try and go north, head like for like Scandinavia or somewhere like that, could be quite cool.
Yeah.
Potentially,
definitely.
yeah. And of course, the event, the people that are doing the jailbreak, they obviously in fancy dress costumes. What would you guys wear?
Oh, that's a tough question.
See, you know those terrible banana costumes that are super popular? I feel like that will get you spotted.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you'd stand out as you're doing something crazy.
I guess standing out is a good thing as well in that sort of context, because obviously if you do it for charity and you're dressed in like, I don't know, some crazy costume, people might be more willing to take you, like see that you've really invested in it. Yeah. I mean, at extras last year I went as Princess Peach, so I might do that again, because you know that'll attract a bit of attention. Yeah. And might get me some places.
I'd definitely go for a convict's outfit, so the black and white stripes, or an orange outfit with a little chain and the ball.
But then people might think you're a real convict.
I was going to say, you're not going to
get
far.
And it might turn you in. It might take you to the police station. That's as far as you're going to get.
It'll be an exciting experience, though.
Yeah, who will get stuck in the police station?
True.
Yeah.
If you're not interested in winning, then I think that's perfect.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I think there's an award for the worst team.
Oh, is
so
that?
You could win that award.
I'd aim for that, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is.
Lancaster.
It might be like a wooden spoon or something, but you'd win something.
Better to be a winner than not a winner.
Then you want to be average.
Yeah.
I mean, someone got to Preston last year.
Oh right.
As you were saying before, you'd get to Preston.
I don't think I could.
Someone did get to Preston last year.
Well, that's good.
I mean, to be fair, surely you could like, I don't know, 36 hours I think you get, don't you? So to get to Preston, you could probably walk further than Preston in that time. So how they managed to get stuck in Preston, I don't know.
Well, I don't know, because when I came to the open day here, it was that big storm, Doris, was it?
Oh,
and like even getting from Manchester to here was tough.
That's true.
So
yeah,
I don't know.
Fingers crossed, there's no storms now.
Well, let's hope so. I don't think it would be good for them if it ends up lashing it down. So let's hope for good weather for them.
So where do you guys reckon people like? What do you reckon is your prediction for the furthest point they'll get to? Obviously, they have to stay in Europe, I think, so that sort of limits it to an extent. But it's still an achievement if you can get like the sort of, you know, as far away as you can as from Lancaster.
If you get to another country, I will be well impressed.
Wales?
quite frankly. Okay, I mean, well,
Not the
No.
United Kingdom.
not the United
But then you
Kingdom.
could go to Republic of Ireland, so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how difficult it is to. Maybe you can get down to.
I think if you get to the continent,
Yeah.
you're doing well.
If
if
you
you
can cross
manage to
a body
cross
of
the channel,
water
yeah.
Yeah.
for free, you've
But that's-
clearly got some skills.
Yeah, well that's the thing though. Obviously on the channel, you pay like if you go on the ferry or whatever, you pay per car, not per person.
Ah,
So if there's a
clever.
spare space in your car, which is why they advise you really, I think, to sort of keep your team small, because if you've got like 3 or 4 people trying to hitchhike, you know, if there's no space in a car, you can't really do it unless you split up, and then it's then you're not really together.
Yeah.
So if you're doing like maybe like pairs, that way you've got more chance of getting hitchhiked down to whatever, and you'd have to pay because they pay just per car, so it's no extra burden on the person who's driving you.
It's about finding the right people, really.
Yeah.
The ones that are willing to give you the hitchhike.
Yeah,
It sounds like you should do it.
I'm really interested in doing it next year.
You've got all these hints and tips.
It just comes down to responsibilities in L1 TV. But anyway, if I was to do it, I don't know. I like to say now that I'd go north and go maybe to Scandinavia, but
Yeah.
if I was actually trying to win the competition, I'd probably try and head for mainland Europe
Yeah.
because you can get further away.
So many more options. And
Yeah,
more people heading down that way, really.
yeah, yeah.
So, have you seen any costumes of the competitors this year or in the past? Do they look good?
I mean, in the past, I've seen people like Mario and Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, you've got like
the classics.
things like classic things like that. There were people in like, you know, like you said, before, like convict kind of things,
Yeah.
and crazy things like bananas and whatever. But have you seen any kind of crazy ones?
I haven't seen them this year though, but I'm sure they'll live up to the crazy costumes you had last
Yeah,
year.
I'm sure we'll have to see who got the best costume. I think that's one of the awards as well, maybe best costume.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe we could get one of the winners onto one of the
Oh,
shows.
if that was an award, I could go for that one.
What would you go as if you're going to get best costume?
Best costume I've ever made was a papier-mâché Buzz Lightyear costume.
Oh, wow.
How long did that take you to make?
Oh, a good few weeks.
So not 36 hours.
No, but I could make it and then wear it. So
Yeah. I mean, the previous winners from 2015 said that they forgot, like they didn't have any signs or anything. So for the first hour of the 36 hours, they went home to make like signs and stuff, and they still managed to win. So
It's impressive.
you could always make a Buzz Lightyear costume in the time and still win. Everyone else could do appallingly.
you can give it a go.
Yeah.
Do you know where the furthest place people have got to in the past from Lancaster is?
Oh, I'm not too sure. We can ask Tom when he comes on
Good idea.
after. Yeah, cool.
So the team set off just about an hour ago, and at 6 p.m. tonight, our reporter Craig was down on the scene. So let's see how it went.
We're here at Alexandra Square for the start of Jailbreak 2017. All of our groups are going to be departing right here in just a few minutes. So we're going to be chatting to some of them and then watching them go. Who's in the team? Who's the teams?
In a team, yeah.
Do you have a team name?
Yeah. Dos Army.
Oh, and your team name?
Listen, Dean's on tour.
Nice. So how much have you guys raised so far?
£185 so far.
Wow, that's really impressive. Fantastic. And you guys, do you have a strategy?
Yeah, we're also aiming for slides soon. And if that doesn't work, maybe like go to Dover and then on the ferry, maybe something like that.
Our team is the imported. None of us are actually
None of us are from British.
So
Yeah, from Britain, yeah.
That's cool. What's your plan for getting to, well, wherever you're going?
We're going to try and hitchhike to Manchester Airport, hopefully. Maybe
and
catch
then
the bus.
get a flight somehow.
And then get a flight, yeah.
That's the plan.
Cool. So where do you guys come from? If you're...
I'm from Germany.
Australia. Canada.
Wow, so from far and wide. So are you trying to get overseas? Where are you trying to get? Where's your goal?
Somewhere where it's sunny. We all miss the sun.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is it going to go really well for you today?
It's either going to be amazing or we're going to get kidnapped. And we also haven't packed yet, so.
Okay, so you're just...
Coursework at about 4. Yeah. So, yeah. It's going well.
So what's your team name?
A Hitchhiker's Guide to Jailbreak.
Cool. And have you got a theme? I'm sensing a theme.
Well, pirates and Peter Pan.
Well,
Captain Hook.
Have you got a hook?
No, that's a slight issue.
So you're just captain?
We'll go with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your plan today? What's your plan?
Well, we actually won the prize for most amount raised. So we
Cool, how much?
Train ticket, over 420.
£20. We've got a train ticket to Manchester.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic. How did you get that? How did you raise that much?
Lots of generous sponsors.
Nice.
Friends. Yeah.
in front, sort of turn a bit to the left, a bit, yeah, the other left. That's it. No, left still. That's it. Do you have any words of encouragement for the people doing Jailbreak? So we're about to release Jailbreak 2017. All of our groups are waiting to go. Let's get ready. So those are our teams for Jailbreak 2017, all of them on their way across the country and the world. So back to you guys in the studio.
So now we're joined by Thomas Comey, who is the Chief Information Officer from Enactus. So thanks for joining us, Thomas.
No problem.
Thank you. So the first question we got,
Yeah.
what is Enactus?
Well, Enactus generally is it's a social entrepreneurship society based in Lancaster, but we have Enactuses across the world. If I can quite rightly remember, it started off in the US. And the whole idea behind Enactus is to create sustainable businesses around people who are less fortunate than ourselves. And, once we build a business around people, we then quite simply give them the business at the end of it. Yeah, so it's, we're more directly involved as opposed to a charity. Some of the biggest charities out there. So we're more direct. We're not a charity, but that's basically, what we are really.
Okay. So how many people are taking part in Enactus this year? Jailbreak?
Well, we've got over 15 teams competing, so they've all fundraised and everything like that. Yeah.
And what are we raising money for?
Well, that's a good question. Well, again, we build sustainable businesses, so we need to be able to fund these sustainable businesses. So that's one way of doing it. Obviously, we need to get it to a point where it becomes sustainable, right?
Yeah.
So that's what this is all about, really, more than anything. So, for example, one of the projects that we do helps with autism. So we help them, with employment and that type of thing. So it's we sell fresh fruits and vegetables. We can sell it on campus, off campus, that type of thing. So it's very rewarding, to make sure that people who are less fortunate than ourselves, get recognised out there.
Yeah. Okay.
So then obviously Jailbreak's the main event that's going on at the moment. What is Jailbreak then, and how does that Enactus sort of side of things, how does that relate then into the Jailbreak side of things?
Well, you can kind of see it as like BBC comic relief, or children in need. It's kind of a similar type of thing. So we've got Enactus, we've got our projects that we do, and then we've got our fundraiser, our main fundraiser, which is Jailbreak, and then that basically raises funds for us so that we can then put back into events and marketing and developing businesses basically.
Yeah, and it's so obviously about raising money then. So the teams themselves can't spend money to get where they need to get. So how was the fundraising process done? How was that sort of organised?
Well, we have a Just Giving page. So if you go on to our page, that should be fine. And just donate. Feel free to donate as much as you want, from £1 to £1 million. We are very indiscriminate to the amount you donate.
Student loans, I don't know.
Student loans.
Would that cover it?
Well, yeah. If you've got any rich parents or anything like that, I'm sure there's a lot of them around here, then you should be fine. But yeah, so you just go to the Just Giving page and you donate on there, really. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And about the candidates that have been taking part, what's the best costume that you've seen?
Saw some guy in a Robin Hood costume. That was pretty crazy, right? I mean, that was you saw that before on the TV before. That was pretty crazy. The craziest costume that I've probably ever saw. I'm trying to think. I can't really. There are so many. So some guy dressed up as a horse once. I mean that's crazy, right? I guess. Hitchhiking in a horse costume.
That would be difficult.
you know, I mean, you'd be quite surprised actually how I mean, it would attract a lot of attention, right?
Yeah, true.
And you know, it'd probably be a lot easier to hitchhike in a silly costume than it would be in plain clothes, I'd assume, right? Because obviously there's a reason behind why you're hitchhiking. They'll be like, what this? They'll be like, hey, Doris, pull over. What are these idiots doing? Let's see what they're doing. You know, that type of thing. So, yeah.
Has anyone ever done like a joint costume? Like, you know, those horse ones where it's like 2 people and like a horse or like anything like that. Or like
I don't think it was a joint costume. I'm not too sure. I can't remember.
Has anyone ever done them like that? Though? Has anyone ever done one like that?
Probably, you know, yeah.
Or like 3 legs or something, or like,
yeah.
you know, like joined together or something.
You know,
like
it'd be really funny if someone came up as Barat, you know, in that like swimming costume. That'd be how far would you get with that, right?
I think that depends on a lot of
Cyprus,
things.
right?
We were talking earlier about group names. What's
Yeah.
the best group name you've ever heard?
Group names. The best group name I heard was
mine.
Yes. Definitely.
That's not a real one.
It's just a future potential.
Yeah,
one.
You can thank your parents for that.
Well, no, because they didn't call me Jail. Well, they did, indirectly. But anyway.
Just saying.
It's, the best. I mean, people have been quite creative with the names, to be honest. Yeah, I'd say so.
Have you yourself done the Jailbreak?
I've never done Jailbreak. To be honest with you, I've always been, you know, busy with an actor. So yeah.
You've always been involved with it.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, would you like to do it? Is it something you'd like to do? Or?
Well, I mean, I would like to do it. Yeah, I would like to do it. But it's just time. That's what it is. It's very difficult to manage. You know, I've got a lot of deadlines, so that doesn't help. But if I had more time, because I study computer science, so it's very demanding. You know, it's pretty much a deadline every week. So yeah.
Yeah, but if you had the time, who would you do it with then? And
if I had the time, I would probably do it with Boris Johnson, maybe. Or
oh, yeah, okay,
yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, or Drake, maybe, or Pocahontas.
Not your friends.
Friends.
Well, maybe they are your friends. If you do it with your parents,
I'll probably my parents.
they could give you a lift, and well, you're not allowed to do that, are you? You're not allowed to
No, you
fly.
can't use your own vehicle. I'd probably go with my mum and my dad.
On a nice holiday.
Could we go Pontins, right?
No, but where would you?
Putlins.
If you had then 36 hours to do this,
Yeah.
where would you try and aim to get to? Or what would be your aim?
I would probably try and aim to get to Eastern Ukraine. Just.
Oh, you have to go to Ukraine then?
Well, I'm not too sure whether the insurance would cover you for that, to be fair, because there's a war going on, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, because I'm pretty sure before we were talking about where you could go.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's within Europe, isn't it? But then
the thing is, right, the insurance will probably cover you for Ukraine, but if you get injured in the event of war, then you're not covered by insurance for that. So it's a common thing. I mean, even your car insurance doesn't cover you for that. So, yeah. But I mean, it'd just be quite interesting to see what's going on, right? You know, I guess journalists do it.
Go
so
to Donetsk or something.
Go
like
to
that.
Donetsk. You know, a bit further in where we got. Just looking at the map. Yeah, Donetsk, or what's it? Luhansk, is that the other one? Is that the other area in eastern Ukraine? I think. Yeah.
My Ukrainian geography is not that great.
Yeah.
But perhaps you know, if someone does get there, they can use the hashtag, which is Lancaster Jailbreak 2017.
Yeah.
And we can follow them on social media and see what's going on, as well as the shows we got on.
Yeah. So guys, if anyone gets to Ukraine, eastern Ukraine, yeah, we'll know about it. But that'd be quite interesting. I mean, we can't encourage you to go to a war zone, right?
No, we're not encouraging to go to the war zone. Just so you know.
But like, I mean, it would, you know, it would make quite interesting.
It would.
It would, wouldn't it? Right. Quite controversial, but quite interesting.
What's the furthest someone's got to then?
Someone's got as far as Bulgaria. I'm confident that someone's got as far as Bulgaria.
That's impressive.
Our speakers that we had on, our guest speakers, got as far as, was it Hungary or Austria? One of the two
pretty
places.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think once you get as as to the channel. The rest is easy. The best thing to do is just look for a license plate which is foreign. That's the best thing to do. You know, at the channel tunnel.
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing to do. If you look for a license plate that's foreign, guaranteed they're going in that direction. Well, they are, right? So they're going into that direction, and then just do that.
I think you'd be pretty good at it because you've got all these insights from other ones. But thank you so much for your insights today.
No problem, guys.
The last Jailbreak was won by Kate Stock and Alex Kitts.
Yes, that's who it was, yes.
The team called the Bloody Welsh.
Unfortunately, they couldn't join us tonight, but at the introduction meeting, they gave this year's teams some advice and told people about their journey. So let's see what they have to say.
Hello, I'm Alex.
I'm Kate.
What year did we do it?
2015.
So in 2015 we did this, and we won it, getting to. Well, to be honest, we didn't get anywhere very exciting. We got to a small service station outside Vienna. But along the way, it was pretty entertaining. So I feel like what we're going to do is just tell you the story of getting there. Really, we're going to tell it just as we can remember it, and then if one of the other of us remembers something that has been missed out, we'll jump in. But basically, we started off at like 6 p.m. it starts, doesn't it? Yeah. In Alex Square. Everybody, as you could see from the video, was chaotic, running everywhere. We had not done a lot of planning.
We realised that everyone else was a bit more prepared than us.
Yeah, so we decided not to run off. We went back home and made a sign. And made some sandwiches, made a sign, and then started about an hour after everybody else with our new sign, and we felt a bit more prepared, and we got first lift to the service station just on the M6, like the first service station, getting there.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the key the whole way, wasn't it, is getting to service stations.
Yeah, service station hopping is
because not many people actually pick up hitchhikers. It's something I found out. But if you knock on the window and say, we're doing a charity hitchhike, wave a sign at them and try and tell them what you're doing, why you're doing it, then most people will say yes. And so then the second lift we got took us halfway across the country. She was going to somewhere in North Wales.
Yeah, so she dropped us off like just before she turned off for North Wales.
Yeah, so we were trying to head to Dover. And so we got there. From there we bumped into another guy that was going to Brighton, I think, yeah. He was a nice guy, to be fair. I think that's one of the advantages of this. And since doing this, I've done a lot of hitchhiking all over the world. Purely because of how much I enjoyed this, purely because you meet some incredible people. Just the way that this travelling works. But anyway, we got off on the M25.
Maidstone services.
Maidstone services, yes. Because this guy was heading to Brighton. And whilst we were there for quite a while, because we kind of figured, well, we need from here to get somebody that's not just going to Dover, but going across the channel. Because if you can get a lift with somebody going across the channel, then you can be in their vehicle. They get a ticket for the vehicle, for the ferries, not for the people. So that was our idea, is from that services we wanted somebody actually crossing the channel. So we asked a few coaches, and they were all like, no. And eventually we asked this Hungarian guy, Bert, and he was going all the way to Budapest. And he was a bit hesitant at first, and then we kind of told him our story, and eventually he was like, yeah, okay, I'll take you. Whilst we were at the services, so this was the unfortunate thing about our year, whilst we were at the services, we got a call from the Enactus team. Basically, it was the year of the Paris attacks, and it was the weekend of the Paris attacks. So France closed its borders. The country was in lockdown, supposedly. And we were on our way to Dover with Bert at this stage. He didn't have a ticket for the ferry. So I remember trying to extensively persuade him to go to Ipswich instead of Dover, so that we could go there. But he wasn't buying any of it, and he was like, no, they can't just close borders. So we went to Dover, and we had I probably shouldn't say this, we had a heated debate with the Enactus people, because they told us you can't go into France. It's in lockdown. You just can't do it.
But at the time we were
stood in the customs office in Dover, speaking to a customs officer, watching the French president, Prime Minister, on the news, saying the country's in lockdown. Nobody's allowed in or out. and then we turned to the customs officer, and they were like, "Well, he's not told us that." But so we just thought, okay, well, we'll go for it.
Yeah. So we got on the ferry.
We got on the ferry.
Got another phone call saying,
"Don't get on the ferry." And we were like, "Well, we're on the ferry." so we got off the ferry.
We were in France for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, because we landed in Dunkirk. There wasn't anybody stopping us at the border. I'm not even sure. Did we even show our passports? Anyway, probably not. But anyway, straight through into Belgium. We've got a photo somewhere. Which screen is on? Is this one, right?
Yeah, we didn't.
No. I'm just trying to find. Can I?
We'll
Anyway,
show it,
we'll show it at the end of this time. But I've got a photo of the Belgian border. It's basically just a road. And this was supposedly on a time when the country was in lockdown. So we were out of France. We let enactors know, and they were happy again. They stopped having to kind of worry too much. And because of this incident, nobody else had got out of the UK. So we were through Belgium into Germany by the time that anybody else came out of the UK.
Yeah.
I think one other team managed to get on a ferry going to Santander, which was probably the way that enactors wanted us to do it, given the situation. But on the way through, was it through Germany or through Austria? Either way, but the driver, who was still with the same guy, he was going all the way to Budapest, he was getting very tired at this point. For a little while, because I've got a license and it was a company van, so anybody was insured. So for a little while I drove this Hungarian refrigerated van on the Jailbreak tour. My first experience driving in Europe.
I was there to see you in
drinks. Whilst Bert slept in the passenger seat. And then eventually I got tired, so we pulled over and Bert was asleep for probably 6 or 7 hours sleeping. We just kind of moided around this German market. It was like a Christmas market, which was kind of nice. And we were there for hours and hours and hours, and eventually we were like, yeah, we don't actually have the time to get to Budapest in the 36-hour period. So at the 36-hour mark, we stopped at a service station, and at the end of when you think you've reached your final destination, you're supposed to kind of have a photo, or certainly in our year, I don't know if they're doing this again this year, but in our year you had to take a selfie outside of something identifiable, which for us was just a service station. And so there's a photo of us somewhere looking very tired outside of an Austrian service station at the 36-hour mark. And then, so that was our final destination. I can't remember how far it was, but it was somewhere in mid-Austria.
Yeah.
And then because obviously there's no use going to some random service station in mid-Austria, so we carried on for a bit. We were still kind of hoping to get to Budapest, just because it was a nice place to be. But we stopped just outside of Vienna and tried to make our way back. I think this year, am I right in thinking the winner gets a flight home?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's something that didn't happen in our year.
No,
so we had to stop and try and work out the cheapest flight back from Europe, which was in Stuttgart. So then we also had to get to Stuttgart somehow.
So we had to get back to Germany.
Yeah.
From
so we hitched another lift to Munich and then got a bus from there. But it was it's definitely, I think, one of the better experiences of first year. It made me want to continue travelling like this, and I have done. And yeah, I'd highly recommend it. Yeah. If anybody has any questions, please shout them out. Oh, one other thing, just with the mention of watching that video about the people that got to Singapore, the winner from the year before us was no longer the winner. Well, he won it, but it transpired that he jumped on a train without paying, and obviously that's comes under the not paying bit, but because it was breaking the law, he got disqualified.
Yeah.
So I thought I should flag that up.
Yeah.
As a don't do. But other than that, yeah.
We'll be following the groups on their journey as they travel across the country and into Europe. If you're participating in Jailbreak, as we said earlier, please do tweet us. We're at LA1TV using the hashtag Lancaster Jailbreak 2017 to keep us up to date with your travels.
We're now going to have a quick look at the map to see how far the contestants have travelled. So, as you can see, we're currently here in Lancaster, and it's going to be very interesting to see where everyone will be getting to. They've got, obviously, the whole of Europe at their disposal, and it'll be interesting to see how far they can get. I wonder if anyone's going to do the George Ezra and try and get to Budapest, or if anyone is going to go to Dublin, the largest city in the world, because it keeps Dublin. As we discussed, of course, there is Scandinavian option, or the Fenno-Scandian option, if you are geography interested. And we've got, obviously, the rest of Europe, such as Germany, France. I think those are the main locations people will be going for. But taking a closer look at the UK, most people will probably be heading south this fine weekend, probably towards London, Dover, where they have the opportunity to go to the rest of the continent. And of course, a few may go north. That's going to be the interesting thing to see, and we're going to be keeping you up to date over the weekend by keeping you posted on all the updates, keeping out all the updates for where people can get to. Of course, last year the winners got to Austria, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone can beat them this year. So, any ideas about maps?
Just interesting as well, like obviously you mentioned there about Austria last year, and a lot of people tend to go sort of eastwards. It'd be interesting to see people maybe this year or in future years if they want to go like south, so maybe like through France down towards Spain, Portugal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will go through like sort of Belgium, Germany, then towards like Austria or Hungary or whatever. But yeah, it'd be nice to see if some people do go
And
for
see
that
if they
option.
mix it up.
Yeah.
But we'll be chatting to groups live and asking them questions about how they're getting on. So hopefully they'll provide us with loads of good stories and updates.
And as the groups are off gallivanting around the country, the Enactus team will be hard at work in Pendle rooms, making sure everyone is safe. We'll be catching up with them throughout the weekend with our Jailbreak diaries.
That's it for today's episode, but we'll be having more shows throughout the weekend, so please make sure to tune in. Catch us again tomorrow at 12 p.m. and 7 p.m. for a 24-hour update. Our final show will be Sunday evening. We'll be hopefully having a phone call with the winners to hear about their stories.
So thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.
Guys. Bye.